My name is Nick1a, and I am Tom's web designer, web developer. I wear many hats, but those are probably the ones that are going to be most recognizable to the mentees.
Okay.
I have been working with Tom for probably close to 7 or 8 years. I actually started as his personal trainer, responding to a Craigslist ad when I was just getting started as a personal trainer. And through the course of our work together, he found out that I was a graphic designer. So I did some work for him that way. The brochures at a lot of the conferences and stuff like that were some of my early works with him. And then a couple years later, I'd gotten back to a desk job and been working design again. And his web designer left him. So about 5 years ago, he asked if I would come work for him. How did I get started in my field? Back in 1997, my friend and I were noticing that the internet was just blowing up, and we had been at college a little bit and done a lot of stuff with just some of the internet apps that were going on at the time, and decided that we wanted to start a business and see what we could do with it. So we had our own server, we built our own server, we had 56K was the top modem speed if you didn't want to go hardcore and get a T1 or an ISDN at the time. So we got that to my parents' house, because I was still living with my parents, and he started selling. You know, he would go and try to pitch the internet. We lasted about 1.5 years. You know, I'm quite young looking right now, but at the time I looked like I was 12, and people just didn't want to work with brand new kids on this untested thing. So we ended up quitting. I got into graphic design, working with Auto Trader, and kind of went that route for a while, but web's always been kind of in the background, freelance type of stuff. What am I passionate about? I like fitness. I mentioned earlier that I was a personal trainer. Fitness has always been a big part of my life. I like running, weightlifting. I was a kickboxer for a little while. Like to move a lot. Helping coach one of the local kids running groups. Tuesdays and Thursdays.
How do you unwind?
How do I unwind? That's a good question. I like to unwind. I watch some TV, you know, some of the stuff that's big right now. Reading's always been big. I try to get back into drawing. I used to draw quite a bit, just illustrative stuff and comic books. I'm still quite big into that. You know, it's really nice to see some of the stuff that I used to read, you know, up on the big screen, not cartoons. You know, you see Superman flying, Batman, all these, you know, Captain America, they're really big right now, so it's always fun to see stuff like that. That was kind of what I wanted to be when I was a little kid, was I wanted to grow up and do comic books, you know, write and draw, and I really thought I was going to do that until the internet hit. And then once that kind of took over, then that was it. Life goal on my bucket list. I've got a couple of things. I would like to write some comic books. I've got some stories, I just haven't sat down and finished it yet. What else would I like to do? I'd like to get out of America, just go and tour. We keep talking about maybe going to Greece and doing like a kayak vacation type of thing. I think that would be a lot of fun, kind of tie into just being active and seeing different parts of the world. What sort of advice would I offer to mentees? Try to get as organized as you can. That's a big number one. Organization is going to help you across the board with everything, you know, just in life. So knowing what you're doing, taking notes is a big one. Always take notes in a manner that's going to be conducive to you. I keep files of how to do stuff. And refer back to it. I've just got a folder on my computer where I can go through and check out stuff and say, okay, I've done that before, I've got it in my own words, and I've got a resource where I can go back and find it. That's just hugely helpful. And then being able to, this is going to be my last little piece of advice, being able to research stuff, you know, learning how to use Google, learning how to look for stuff on the internet. It'll help you in this program just by being able to go through our resources. We've got a ton of resources, and if you know how to find them, it's just going to make your job a lot easier. Most important thing I've learned during my time with Tom, ideas can come from everywhere, and you can make a lot of money if you just go ahead and focus. Don't go crazy trying to do everything all at once. Just do it in a linear fashion. Have a checklist, do this, do this, do this, and move forward that way. Don't get hung up on some of the details. Like one of the things I hear a lot of people say is, I haven't finished my website because I haven't picked a theme yet. Why are you still picking a theme? You know, you've been in the program for 3 months. You know, you should have had everything done by now and rolling. So call us, you know, when you need help, and just move. You know, forward progress is better than no progress.